So as you may or may not know, Jon Bon Jovi faces some serious issues with his vocal cords. He's had surgery and he may or may not be able to ever return to singing. And he recently gave an interview where he answered the question of, if the worst comes to worst and he only gets to perform one final song in front of an audience, which song would he choose to perform? And the song he chose was called These Days. And I'm going to quote him here. He said, quote, "First one that came to mind would be These Days," which I guess nobody would ever think of. But then he quotes the lyrics and he concludes, "I think that sort of encapsulates where I am at this moment in time." So if you don't know the song, it is a slow, soulful ballad. And I want to talk to you in a minute about why I think this is such an interesting and meaningful choice of songs for him to decide on as the final song he would ever perform in front of an audience. But before I do that, I want you to listen to what he said recently about his health issues. Here's Jon Bon Jovi.
How you feeling today?
Day to day.
Yeah.
Day to day.
Yeah.
You know, I'm working hard on it. I flew here to California yesterday. Before I got on the plane, vocal therapy, you know. So I don't do anything if I can get that in first. You know, nothing else it matters until I work on getting better. It's up to God at this point.
So what he said there is, it's up to God at this point. And I think that taking that comment along with the song that he chose as his final song shows us something important about Jon Bon Jovi. So the lyrics that he quoted are, "These days the stars seem out of reach. These days there ain't a ladder on the streets. These days are fast, nothing lasts in this graceless age. There ain't nobody left but us these days." So I think that his choice of songs says something really, really important, which is that he cares more about the message that he's sending to his audience and the emotional confession and the emotional connection that he's making with the world than he does with his own plight of possibly losing his voice. And if his last song choice was some heavy rocker anthem or a self-indulgent goodbye, it would be much different story. By the fact that he chose These Days isn't his most popular track, it also shows that he isn't particularly moved by what is the most popular aspects of his legacy. He is concentrated on what is the most meaningful aspect of his legacy. And I think it's also interesting that even though he said that the question put him on the spot, he did have a song in mind, and that just shows you how serious his issues are right now. And most of us can't relate to what that might be like, to have had the ability to sing to millions and millions of people for decades and then face the prospect of that ability suddenly not existing anymore. Anyway, this is what I think, but what really matters is what you think. So if you have an idea about this or any other topic connected to classic or contemporary music, please drop it in the section below, and remember to like, subscribe. Also, I'd like to point out that there's a new join button available for those of you who would like to support the site. If you join, you'll have access to members-only polls, member-only videos, and other cool perks that you can see by clicking on the join button, which I hope you'll do. Thanks a lot.